Welcome. If you're listening, you're probably thinking about gold for retirement, or maybe you already hold some. And you want to know, well, how do you actually turn that gold back into cash later on? You're looking for clear answers, not a complex lecture. And that's what we aim to provide today.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into the gold IRA buyback process, and we're leaning heavily on insights from Doug Young. He's got, over 20 years in financial investing, precious metals,
Yes.
a really trusted voice.
Right. So the buyback process. Essentially, that's just selling the gold in your IRA back to the company you bought it from. Yeah.
That's the gist of it. It's your exit ramp, so to speak, for that gold investment.
Okay. And our mission here is pretty straightforward. Unpack how this works and, importantly, why understanding it gives you, well, a real edge as an investor. Doug Young's work is our main guide here.
And it's smart to get a handle on this early because, as Doug Young really emphasizes, a smooth buyback later, it actually starts way back. It starts with choosing the right gold IRA company in the first place.
Okay, hang on. Why does the company you pick right at the start matter so much for selling it, maybe years down the line?
Well, think about it. These companies working with a custodian, they're the ones holding and managing your actual gold. So when you decide to sell, it makes sense they're your first port of call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doug Young's research really hammers this home. Do your homework up front. Research companies, check reviews, ratings, see what others experienced.
That makes perfect sense. You don't want to get stuck trying to sell when you need the cash. So specifically, what should someone look for in a company now with that future buyback in mind?
Okay, number one, do they even offer a buyback service? Seriously, not all do.
Really?
Yeah. And Doug Young's article on top providers, that's a good starting point to find companies that are active here. Beyond that, look for transparency, good communications, solid reputation. Those are usually good signs they'll handle the buyback well.
Got it. Okay. Initial choice is critical. So fast forward, you've held your gold. Time feels right to sell some, or maybe all of it. Based on Doug Young's insights, what's the very first practical step you take?
That's when you actually kick off the buyback request. It's you telling the gold IRA company, hey, I want to sell. You'll need to contact them, let them know. They'll give you the forms, the instructions, all the paperwork needed.
And Doug Young flags something really important at this stage, doesn't he? It's not just about filling forms.
Absolutely. He stresses, really stresses, asking about all the potential fees.
The fees.
Yeah. Transaction fees, maybe storage fees still lingering, admin costs, any charge involved. You need the full picture of what might be deducted. No surprises, right?
Definitely no surprises with retirement money. Okay, request made, forms done, fees understood. What happens next? What's the timeline look like?
So once they have your request, the company starts processing it. The exact time can vary, depends on the company, maybe how much gold you're selling. But Doug Young suggests a general window, usually a few days, maybe up to a couple of weeks.
A few days to a couple of weeks. That actually sounds pretty reasonable. What's going on during that time?
Well, the gold IRA company talks to your custodian. That's the separate institution actually holding the gold, remember?
Right, the independent holder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They work together to verify, okay, is the gold authentic? What's its current market value? That's crucial for a legitimate sale and making sure you get the right price for that day's market.
Makes sense.
Once that's all checked and confirmed, the settlement starts, and then you get your payment.
So it's a coordinated check between the company and the custodian. Adds a layer of security for you. Now, Doug Young also talks about why this whole gold IRA buyback system is often way better than, say, trying to sell gold coins you have at home. What are the pitfalls of those older, traditional methods?
Yeah, this is where the gold IRA process really shows its value. Doug Young points out some big issues with traditional selling. One major one is liquidity, or rather, the lack of it.
Finding a buyer, you mean?
Exactly. Trying to sell physical gold yourself, you got to find someone willing to pay the market rate. That can take time, involve haggling. You might end up taking a lower price just to get the deal done quickly.
Right. It's not like selling stock where there's always a buyer at the market price.
Right.
It can be.
Yeah.
Illiquid. What else?
Market volatility. That's another big one Doug Young mentions. Gold prices go up and down, right? Sometimes a lot.
Sure.
If you're trying to sell privately, you're exposed to those swings. You might decide to sell when the price looks good, but by the time you find a buyer and finalize, the price could have dropped. You could lose out. It's like trying to time the market perfectly, which is, famously hard.
Definitely. Timing the market is tough enough, let alone with physical assets. And there was one more thing Doug Young highlighted about traditional ways. Something about costs.
Yes. Hidden fees and charges. That's a real risk. Traditional buyers, maybe a local coin shop or private dealer, they might not be upfront about all their costs. You could get hit with unexpected transaction fees, maybe assay fees to test the gold's purity, other admin stuff. These things can just eat away at the final amount you receive. You think you're getting X, but end up with Y after all the little deductions.
Ouch. Okay, so the gold IRA buyback process is designed precisely to avoid those headaches.
Huh.
Let's flip to the benefits Doug Young points out. How does it solve these issues?
Well, the big one, as Doug Young highlights, is much better liquidity. Enhanced liquidity. The buyback gives you a clear, relatively fast path to turn that gold back into cash. You don't have that hassle of finding a buyer yourself, dealing with uncertain private sales.
Which is huge if you suddenly need funds.
Exactly. Think about retirement. An unexpected medical bill comes up. Having a streamlined way to access some of that gold value without the stress of finding a private buyer. That's significant financial flexibility. It offers real relief.
That enhanced liquidity definitely sounds like a key advantage. Gives you more control. What about the price you get? How is that more transparent?
Right, transparent pricing. This is where a reputable gold IRA buyback really stands out. You should always know the current market value of your gold through them. Doug Young contrasts this directly with those traditional methods where hidden fees and market timing can muddy the waters.
Yeah.
The transparency means you should be getting a fair market value without those surprise costs reducing your payout. It builds trust, gives you peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Okay.
Can't put a price on that, especially with retirement funds.
Yeah.
Okay, Doug Young kind of boils the whole buyback down to three main takeaways, right?
Yeah.
What are those core steps again?
Yeah, he simplifies it nicely. Essentially, according to his analysis, 1, you initiate the buyback request. 2, the company and custodian verify the gold's authenticity and value. And 3, you receive your payment. Simple as that, really. Designed for clarity.
And the key benefits are wrapped up in that, too.
Yep. He circles back to the enhanced liquidity, the stability it offers against market volatility compared to traditional selling, and that critical transparent pricing, knowing what you're getting.
So the goal is a smooth, clear process that works for you, the investor. Now, Doug Young also included some FAQs, which is helpful. Let's cover a couple just to round things out. First, just to recap the basic definition from the FAQ.
Sure. The FAQ basically just reinforces it's the established way you sell your IRA gold back to the company you bought it from. It covers the request, the verification, the payment, aims for liquidity, fair pricing, and some market stability for you.
And the big question, fees. Are there generally fees involved in a buyback?
The FAQ confirms, yes, there can be fees. Might be transaction fees, maybe storage costs, depending on timing, some admin charges, which is exactly why Doug Young insists you ask up front. Get total clarity on the cost structure before you start. Avoid those nasty surprises.
Absolutely. Clarity on costs is key.
Yeah.
And finally, the FAQ loops back to choosing a company in the first place. What's the advice there?
It echoes what we discussed earlier. Do thorough research. Check reviews, ratings. Look for reliability, good service. And crucially, make sure they offer buybacks and are totally transparent about any related fees. Again, Doug Young's article on top providers is a useful tool for that initial search.
So bottom line, it's about making informed choices all the way through, from setting up the IRA to potentially liquidating it. Understanding this buyback process, like Doug Young lays out, really does give you more confidence, more control over your precious metals investment in retirement.
Exactly right. Whether you're just looking into a gold IRA now or you already have one and are thinking about the future, these steps and points we've covered. Drawing on Doug Young's insights, they give you a really solid base for making smart decisions for your financial future.
Well said. Maybe just one final thought to leave you with. Considering how markets can shift, how economies can change, how might having a clear, efficient, and transparent buyback strategy already in place affect your long-term financial planning? And maybe just as importantly, how might it affect your peace of mind? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.